What's up guys, Sekapoko here, bringing you another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. For this we'll be going over my multiple team compilation guide for a raid Lucci that has just dropped on the Japanese version. We're making these teams the same night it comes out, so if you guys are looking for a lot of free-to-play teams, a lot of other teams, I may not have it in this version of the video, but we may have it in another video in the future. But we're just going to be going over a bunch of different teams that might be useful for this raid. We might be doing a lot of teams that might be really great for this raid, but we're doing these right away as the content's being released. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So let's go over raid Lucci as a unit. The first thing in this character, he's going to be a 50 cost unit just like every other raid boss. He's going to max out at 3 sockets before his limit break, and he's going to be a very cool character. To evolve this character, what you're going to need is a sea lion, crab, rainbow crab, purple lobster, and purple dragon. And of course, when you evolve him, he looks beastly. When you max him out, he's going to max out at 2,535 HP, 1,429 attack, and I'm pretty sure that is if you're considering his max limit break. I think it's before his max limit break, pretty sure. Starts out at 30 turns, goes down to 15 turns, and I believe it's 14 with max limit break. His captain ability is going to boost the attack of fighter characters by 2.5 and set cruise recovery to 0. If you defeat an enemy in the last turn, boost the attack of fighters by 3 times instead. So essentially, he's a lot like time skip Zoro, but for fighters. For all other characters, he's going to boost their attack by 1.2. Now, his sailor ability is actually really good. He's going to have a sailor that's going to boost the base attack of fighters by 100, which is extremely, extremely strong as far as the sailor ability goes. His special ability is also very good as well. He's going to do 100 times attack in int damage to one enemy, which will do somewhere around 1,800 damage when all limit broken candies and everything else put them on him, which is really great. And if there is only one enemy on the stage, it's going to delay the enemy for 1 turn, as well as boost the attack against delayed enemies by 1.75 for 1 turn. This is actually a very, very strong mechanic because it is a self-proccing conditional. Now, there are a lot of characters in the game that have delay immunity, and this will not be used on a lot of them. However, if a character is not delay immune, this is an amazing character to bring for your arsenal. Very, very good because it's a self-proccing conditional, and you don't have to bring someone else to proc the conditional, so very good unit overall. Now, in his limit break tree, he's going to have some cool stuff. I don't actually know what he's going to get. It's an additional sailor ability, it looks like, which is I think this is the actual 100 attack. I think the 100 attack on the sailor ability was actually mistranslated, and this is actually the limit break sailor ability. At max stats, he's going to go up by 145 attack and 60 HP. I think that will put him at 1429 attack. After limit break, it'll be a little bit higher, or maybe lower, maybe the same, who knows. And he's going to go down by 2 cooldown, but stay at 3 sockets. So overall, as a unit, definitely a good raid boss to have in your kit. Very, very good unit overall. And he's going to have 2 limit break abilities. The first one is going to be int damage reduction, and the second is going to be barrier penetration. Overall, I really like this unit. It was actually a very cool unit to farm, and the raid itself is actually decent difficulty. If you are a newer player of the game, this may be out of your reach, but if you are a mid-game player or an end-game player, this is definitely within your reach. Alright guys, well I will see you in the teams. Over the fight in general and what you have to really look out for. Now on stage 1 here, this is actually the best place to stall in the entire area. And what you can do is you can actually leave one of these quick characters in the back right hand side or the back left hand side alive, and they will actually hit you for about 6,000 every 2 turns. And they are great to stall in because they keep healing themselves and you don't have to worry about anything. Now on stage 3 and stage 4, you do have some problems with stalling, so you will have to stall on stage 1 and 2, otherwise you will have some major problems with your stall. Overall, this is actually a very easy way to stall and get a lot of stuff done. I kind of mess up on this stage and I accidentally stalled the incorrect way. On stage 3, what we're going to see is that, on stage 1 here, we're going to of course see that the turtle is going to have 10 HP, and the people around are going to have around 75,000 HP overall. Really not super difficult, and you can get some easy stall in. On stage 2, what we can see is that we're going to have the a sea lion in the front, which you do have to kill, which has, I believe, 6 combo hits to kill. And we're going to have 2 of the red dudes that have the bazookas that are really, really annoying because of the blind mechanic. So make sure you do kill those guys before you get them below 30%, because that's when they bind you. The crab on this stage, I believe, has about 6 or 7 HP, which doesn't really matter. And the lobster and the grandfather turtle have about 10 HP each as well. Following on the stage, what we're gonna do is go into stage 3, and stage 3 is kind of an annoying stage because you're gonna have to be surrounded by 5 Submarines, which are gonna be either on a 1 or a 2-turn cooldown, and the middle red marine is gonna be on a 2-turn cooldown. This middle red marine is actually a little bit tricky because what he does is going to switch all of your orbs every single turn into badly matching orbs, making it so it's a little bit more difficult for you to kill everybody on the stage. Now the side characters in the back as well as the sides will all bind one of your characters for 5 turns, so it's definitely needed for you to kill them before they actually attack you. If they do end up attacking you, then it's really bad. Now, on the 3rd turn, every time you're on both stage 3 and stage 4, the mini bosses are going to enrage. When they enrage, they are going to increase their attack by like 99 times or 100 times or 1,000 times, who cares? They will instantly kill you if they attack you while enraged. On this stage here, on stage 4, what we're going to see is that there's going to be 1 quick marine as well as 2 Psy Marines and 3 Int Marines. The Int Marines are going to have 5 HP, as well as the Psy Marines having 5 HP. And the Int Marines, if they do attack you, will silence you despair you for 5 turns, which is really annoying. And when you get to the Psy Marines, they're just gonna auto attack you, so you don't have to worry about them as much. The Quick Marine, when you kill him, is gonna silence your whole crew for 2 turns. So what you'll have to do is, if you have a team that relies on using something in the first turn, and when you go into the Lucci room, you have to use some kind of silence. There's also a preemptive 10% HP cut, and no matter how much damage you do, even if you use a 90% armor reduction on those fixed damage adds, you will definitely have a very, very difficult time if you're trying to kill them with anything with fixed damage. When you get to the Lucci stage, what we're going to see here is Lucci's going to have about 6.2 million HP. He's going to have a preemptive where he's going to enrage for 2 turns, and it'll be for about 18,000 damage as far as an increase to his damage goes. He's going to give everybody tandem and bomb orbs, and he's going to make tandem equal badly matching. Below 50% HP, he's going to do a 50% HP cut on you, and below 20% HP, he's going to monster hit you and you will die. On turn 1, he's going to reduce damage from strength, dex, quick, and int by a variable amount. I think it's about 50%. I'm not really sure how much. On turn 2, he's going to become delay immune for 99 turns. And on turn 3, he's going to enrage for 99 turns. Overall, it's kind of annoying to kill, but you can pull it out if you know what you're doing. The tricky part about this whole stage is that anytime you use any kind of interrupt, he's going to shuffle all your orbs into tandem or bomb orbs. So it becomes a very, very annoying thing having to deal with that, as well as having to deal with all the other mechanics along with it. But you can delay him, you can HP cut him, so there are many ways of clearing the stage. Alright guys, well, I hope you enjoy the overview of the fight. The next team we're going to be showing off today is going to be a Nekomamushi team with Shirahoshi, and you'll see a lot of motif. The big motif around these teams today are going to be, we're going to bring Shirahoshi for a lot of content, and the reason we're bringing Shirahoshi is because she gets around the orb manipulate mechanic and makes it so that you can actually use orbs in the final room on the first turn, which is really, really nice. She's a really, really helpful unit for that, and what we're going to be doing with the Nekomamushi specials, because they are also here for orb manipulation, is they're very helpful to be used on stage 3 and stage 4 to get yourself full board orbs, so you don't have to worry about as much. It becomes a little bit easier to do it that way. Now, the big thing here, of course, is that you make sure you're killing the ads appropriately. And when I go into the final room, I actually take 2 turns here. So I take a first hit from Lucci, and then I go in with the all my buffs and go all the way in. Now, the important thing to do is, of course, you pop the Shirahoshi first, because if you don't pop the Shirahoshi first, then you're going to have some major problems. And because he puts the damage reduction up, I actually take 2 turns here just in case. So I'm going to pop Shirahoshi, then the Boa Sisters, and go all in. The next team we're going to be going over is going to be a Magellan Team, and this Magellan Team, it takes a little bit longer, but it becomes a lot easier if you're going to be stalling on turn 1, and you can actually get through a lot of this by just stalling on this early lady right here. And since the team has a very large pool of HP, it's totally fine. What's really, really funny about this team is if you look closely, I accidentally brought the Blackbeard ship because I was team building before, and when I brought the Blackbeard ship, it actually worked on the team before, but I forgot to switch the ship afterward. So this team is actually strong enough to beat this content without the correct ship or a ship that actually boosts your damage at all. So definitely helps out if you do have a ship that boosts your damage, and you'll probably have a lot easier of a time on the earlier stages. But overall, the team is actually pretty safe, so I would recommend it if you are looking for kind of a brain dead team that's fast enough. I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but you're fine. What I would say is that the V2 boa here is not really needed. I brought it because I needed a psi unit, and I said screw it, maybe it'll be useful, I don't know. And I never have V2 boa on any team, so I said that'd be funny. You can actually use Magellan on the stage before and make it a little bit easier on yourself, so you can actually kill all the ads and you don't have to bring the V2 boa. The Barto, however, is kind of needed. The treasure mode Whitebeard is also really helpful because he clears the stage 3 and makes it so that you don't have to worry about anything. And the rise is really good for removing the silence. So when you go right into the room, you can actually just have your poison up right away, which is kind of helpful. It's not perfect, but it's fine. I would say that if you're going to be doing anything, you would bring another type booster or something like that, or somebody that you can use just for damage instead of the boa, and you should have a lot easier of a time for damage when you're going in. And the only reason I brought the Barto is you can see when I get him super low, he's actually going to be kind of annoying and wreck my face and actually kill me below 20%. A 6+ Shanks plus a ZoroSanji team, and this is kind of my recommended team. I'd say that if you wanted to use another ZoroSanji here, you use a double ZoroSanji for a little more speed, that's fine. You can, instead of using Shanks, that's good too. What I do recommend doing is bringing the Side Duval, and the reason I bring the Side Duval is because A is a 1.75 type booster, but B, he makes int beneficial so that you actually have no problems clearing stage 4. It makes stage 4 really, really easy. So definitely a great character to bring for the stage 4. And if you do want to, what you can do is bring this the 6+ Shanks here, and the 6+ Shanks actually reduces defense completely on stage 4, so you don't have to worry about anything, which is great. So stage 3 and stage 4 are really easily with this team. Overall, if you do want to use other replacements, they're totally fine, but I do like using the 6+ Shanks versus using a double ZoroSanji unless there's going to be something faster, because this is actually pretty good. So overall, the nice thing here is if you use Shirahoshi, it makes it really good for full-blown or manipulate. And what I realized right here, this is where I'm kind of like, is that if you actually shuffle with a Rainbow Orb Manipulator with just Shirahoshi, it doesn't trigger the proc from Lucci for some reason, which I really don't understand why, because everything else did, but except for the Shirahoshi, and he didn't even try to shuffle the orbs back, which was really funny. But overall, this team is very fast, very safe, and tons of damage. I only actually attack with 3 units in order to kill a boss, so it's really good. The next team I'm running is the ZoroSanji team, and it seems very, very similar to the previous team, except I'm using a Dex Robin instead of the Side Duval, and you actually see a major difference in the clear potential with this team because of that. And the combo hits actually become a big factor. And I thought this would be a good comparison to show between the two teams if you're going to use your 6+ Shanks versus using the ZoroSanji team with a TS Robin. This is definitely a little bit more difficult because of not having magic orbs, but you can do the swaps a little bit more to try to get orbs back, and it takes a little bit longer because of the swaps, but definitely it's doable with this way. But it is more difficult to get all your stuff up. And you can see here I got despaired. This was when I actually realized they did despair, and I didn't know before that they despaired my captains, and that's where I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna take a hit. Screw that, I'm gonna die. So nice thing here is that boa was gonna delay for 1 turn here, so I can't survive, and I barely pull it out because of how close this was. So this was definitely a moment. But then the nice thing is that TS Robin does remove despair, so once I pop her, I get the type boost, and I pop both of the Sanji specials, and we're able to just go in and fully burst her. So this is actually a pretty strong team because you do have Orb Boost, Type Boost, as well as Chain Lock, and you have Conditional with full board orbs, which is really, really good. So overall, I really like the team. Very, very strong team, but it's a little bit easier when you use the 6+ Shanks. The next team in the night is going to be a 6+ Law team, and the 6+ Law team was one of the first teams I was actually running today, and it's not a very good team, to be honest. This is actually, what I would recommend is replacing some of the units here, one for like a silence reducer, and then take out the TM Sabo entirely. One of the other teams I run was a little bit more effective, is actually put Croc instead of the Sabo, and instead of the Nami that I have here, I actually used a TS Nami, and it was a little bit easier, but unfortunately the recording did not go through, so I had to futz around with it. But what happens when you get in here is that with this particular team, if you're using the treasure mode Sabo and you try to shuffle the orbs, what happens is that you get a little screwed over. But I'm able to pull it out because I do something a little tricky where I'm popping. I was trying to reset for a Psy orb, so I just made a Psy Tandem orb so I could get the pager up. So I was like, oh, I'm screwed, so I may as well do that. But overall, you can actually get orbs really easily if you do the team correctly. And what I would recommend doing is that if you're going to be using this team or any kind of 6+ Law team, is that you just realize it's going to take you more than a few turns, more than you'd like, anyways. And I would recommend steering away from 6+ Law if at all possible, but it is definitely possible, and if this is like one of your only teams to run because you really like Cerebral, then you can run this team and you'll be okay. So the first team we're doing tonight is going to be the Judge team. This is actually my initial clear team, and I actually didn't know what to expect in the raid. I had no preemptive knowledge, and I just started to run it. And what I found out early on was that the early stages were a little bit annoying, and I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And I just kind of went through and I was like hoping that everything would work out okay. And the third stage is a little bit annoying for the Judge team. The fourth stage is a little bit easier for the Judge team because you can actually just do so much damage. It doesn't matter. The outside guys don't matter as much, so you'll be totally fine. And you can actually just get away with the silence if you know what you're doing and do it correctly. Overall, the Judge batch is really good for this, but just know that you can't pop your Judge special. You can try, but you have to switch from like all Psy orbs to all Psy orbs in order for the Judge special to work. And I actually tried resetting multiple times to see if I could get it to work, but it didn't work. But it's really, really tough if you want to run this with Judge. Overall, what I'd say is if you just want to do a 2-turn burst with Niji, Ichiji, and Yonji, I think you'd be okay. It would be perfectly fine. You just can't get the Lucci below 20%, and you should be okay. Totally good to go. It's not super difficult to run with Judge. Definitely fast. It's semi-safe, so I'd say it's okay if you want to run it. The only problem is like you kind of RNGing your orbs, but like with Judge, your RNG is like really good no matter what you do, so it shouldn't really be any problem. And you can see here what I do is I just pop a Niji special, and I kind of just forgo popping the Yonji or anything like that and just go straight in. Overall, the team is fine. It's not perfect. It's not amazing. It just works-ish. So definitely usable, but not like ideal. As far as teams go tonight, this is probably one of my favorite teams to run because this team is the coolest. There are tons of other teams I run, but this is kind of a team that I've been running a lot lately for content, and it's kind of a mechanic that's an older mechanic where you use an Intox style mechanic to just kill the final boss. And you can actually do it here. The only thing you need is a 100% defense reducer, and if you're trying to be doing this with a Lucci team or whatever, really the only two characters you need are a silence remover for your V2 Doffy, and you also need a 100% defense reducer. Those are really the only two other characters you need if you want to use a V2 Doffy style mechanic in order to kill this with a massive amount of damage and just completely monster the content. V2 Doffy special is so strong here and makes it really easy for this stage. So as long as you have a paralysis reducer and a 100% defense reducer, this team, any V2 Doffy style team will be able to do this. It's very simple. You don't need any of the units I brought here except for possibly limited rare Kokobi, because limited rare Kokobi is going to be really good for giving you the Psy orbs with Judge. Like, he's kind of your orb manipulator as character. You can bring an actual orb manipulator if you like, but you know it comes kind of hard if you're using Judge and Doffy together. So if you want to use like a Lucci team with V2 Doffy, that would work as well. So there's a couple different ways you can work those teams and still get all the orbs you need plus the damage you need. The next team of the day is going to be an Enel team, and the Enel team actually does a very good job stalling. And if you are going to have to run an Enel team, you do not have to bring Shirahoshi or Marco for here. It just makes it a lot faster. So if it's your last resort and you're only able to bring an Enel team, really the only sub you're going to need is going to be the Rayleigh Coliseum. If you do have Rayleigh Coliseum completely done, it will be really easy. Now the trick to getting all your healing done is, of course, what you're going to do here is you're going to take 2 turns between healing. The first turn, you're going to be hitting the quick character on the right-hand side, and the next turn, you're actually going to be hitting the turtle in order to get rid of your positive orbs that are non-meat orbs and not healing during that turn. So one turn you heal, the other turn you don't heal. One turn you heal, you don't heal. On the turn you're healing, you're hitting the quick character, and on the turn you're not healing, you're hitting the turtle. You can get up to 2 million healing very easily that way, and you do not need a healer, but it will take a lot longer. Overall, this is a fine team. It will be the content. You can actually get through it really quickly. The Whitebeard is here just for HP cut. You can bring anybody else you want. The reason I brought him is because he had a decent amount of recovery, and I had him, so I don't know why not. But otherwise, you're just going to be using your normal healing just to blow through the content. You use a 20% HP cut on the Rayleigh, which is really nice. You need 30% HP cut on the Whitebeard, which is also nice. But if you have the 20% HP cutter, that'd be fine too, because he only has 6 million HP. And then you just pop both Enel specials and you're done. Very easy team to run overall. Very safe team, and overall very good team to kill the Lucci. And I didn't really have any problems with it. It just takes a long time. Alright guys, well that's going to do it for my multiple team compilation for Raid Lucci. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and hope you guys enjoyed the teams. There were probably a bunch more teams I could have made after this. We put some free-to-play teams in next time. It's a lot more other teams, but this is of course the first night, and we're going to be able to do only one set of teams right away. Alright guys, well I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, make sure you smack the like button down below, as well as the subscribe button down below, so we get lots of support in the channel, and of course keep the channel growing. If you guys do want to get notifications on all my videos, make sure you hit the bell notification right next to it so you guys get notifications every time I drop a video. Have a great rest of the day, guys. Peace.